now.
We got Triple H coming into the studio.
H.
Very busy day.
Triple H.
Hey, hold on. Fuck, Bill, what are you promoting? Because it's going to get really...
I'm in Count Basie Theater, Red Bank, New Jersey.
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
All right, and Patrice has got the big Comedy Central special tomorrow night at 10. And now we got Triple H in studio.
What's up, man? How you doing? Look at you, all sharp.
You fucking don't age, brother.
I know, right?
A few years go by, we see Triple H, and he looks like the same fucking guy.
Get all kinds of work done.
Sitting here
looking healthy, sir. Looking very
healthy.
Work done, huh?
Yeah.
Very, very healthy, man.
Yeah.
What are you using on your skin, man?
Botox.
Looking nice and healthy, my friend.
And you got to dress like that in the morning? No sweats, nothing like we're doing? You got TV probably, right?
I do.
I
have TV, and you guys you got to look for radio.
I certainly do.
Yeah, you can just.
I already spilled coffee on my shirt. I don't care.
Doesn't
I'm about
matter.
to spill coffee on my shirt.
All right, good.
It doesn't even matter.
You know, Patrice and Bill, two really, really funny guys.
Hello.
Yeah. Patrice O'Neal and Bill Burr.
How you doing?
How are you, sir?
Right.
He don't remember.
Yeah.
Patrice did a little time in the WWF.
He shouldn't remember. And if he doesn't, I love that he doesn't.
He was on your father-in-law's private jet a couple times.
But I was in the back.
Really? Who'd you work for? Chris Ted?
I was. They were hiring writers at the time.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I don't even want to.
No, come on, talk about it, Patrice.
That's why I'm bringing it up, though.
That's what I'm gonna do. You can see he's like, I don't know you, motherfucker. Like I want to say you were great in Blade 3, but like that's what we want to. But I was on the back. It was the most fun. People in this world. It was fun. It was like you were on the plane because at that time, all the. The Cocoa Bewares and the Brooklyn Brawlers.
Brooklyn Brawler.
They have to take a cab to the next thing. It was Triple H.
Yeah,
and he was Triple H at the time too. He wasn't Hunter Hearst. He was Triple H at the time. Mm-hmm. It was the Undertaker was on the plane, and it was one more Biggie on the plane at the time. And then the family. So I sat in the back, and one of the guys who had been there for a couple of years was trying to get me to be like the butler, like one of the other writers. And I go, I don't give a fuck. And that's why I had to leave, because it was like you have to be very company. Yeah,
of course.
Stephanie fired me. She fired me 4 times in one. You're fired.
Back?
No, I just said okay. I said I understand, and she said you're fired, man. I said, Stephanie, I know you got to fire me. I love you. You're fired. She said you're fired 4 times.
4 times.
And I said I understand. I fucking understand.
Why are you being hostile?
I understand.
We miss Stephanie Triple H. She used to do our show all the time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, she misses being around it too. She actually was.
Tell her we said hi.
She wished she could have come in today. She said to say hi to you guys.
Yeah, well, her introduction into the public forum of WWF at the time was just amazing. It was probably the most fun time of wrestling. That was like the golden age when we were watching. Obviously, you still got plenty of people watching, but that time when she was in that boiler room locked up to the pipes and shit, and just trying to make it look like she's upset and crying. It was classic.
Was the whole test thing back in the day, that test push, the marriage thing, and the kidnapping in Vegas and all that? Were you and your wife, was y'all together then?
No, I didn't even know her. Yeah, and honestly, I wasn't even involved in that storyline, but we had a writer at the time, this guy Vince Russo. Vince was great at coming up with stuff and having no way to get out of it.
Oh, shit.
So he had come up with this concept that to bring Vince's daughter in and have her get involved in a relationship with one of the guys to do a marriage, because everybody loves weddings on TV. Was his rationale behind this. So he puts her in this relationship story with this guy Test, and comes time for the wedding the first time, and Vince is like, so what are we doing with this? And he's like,
yeah, where are we going?
I don't know. So they literally, this is how ridiculous our world is sometimes. They came up with a storyline where somebody threw a garbage can or something, hit Steph in the head. She got amnesia and didn't know who Test was. to buy us a few weeks so we could figure out what we were doing.
That is brilliant,
right? And now they've got this situation where eventually she's got to know who this guy is, the whole thing, and so they don't know what they want to do, and Vince Russo leaves the company.
Oh, shit.
In like the middle of the night, he just takes off and goes to work for the WCW at the time, where it was a competition. And I remember Vince being like, well, holy Christ, we're stuck in this storyline. This thing now with a guy with no clue how to get out of it, and now he leaves. And so...
he probably knew he was leaving. He's like, you know how bad I fucked him?
Hey, he's having panic attacks.
He might have been wanting to leave before he had to tell Vince, I don't have a solution. So, but then I was in a storyline with Vince at the time, and just one day and sitting thinking about it was like, God, we should do something. That would be a perfect role. What would I do to get to him?
Right.
Marry his daughter, in real life too. And,
yeah, exactly.
And so that's how the story got switched to me. They really had no intentions of her ever doing a wedding on TV. It was going to get screwed up, but
right.
It was a really convoluted story,
hysterical.
and then our stuff ended up being huge,
So things do they still run like that, kind of, where you sometimes have a storyline where it's like, we have no clue with it?
Well, not really. Usually we try to have a generalized idea, but a lot of times, like even when we did the Steph wedding thing with me, right? So I pitched to Vince this idea about, I'll take her to drive-through to Vegas and, Mickey or drink or something she doesn't know, and I get married to her. The whole thing was just for me to get
slip
this.
her a roofie or something?
Yeah, exactly.
It did, though.
Yeah,
she was knocked out in the back of the car.
Yeah.
I remember that push, man.
Which you can't do anymore.
It's the limp hand with the ring and shit.
Yeah. And you can't do that on TV anymore.
You can't slip
unfortunately.
roofies.
Only in the movies now you can do that.
Right.
9/11, no more roofies.
So, we just went down that road with the story, but it was just meant to be to get me into a situation in a match with Vince where I would get a title shot and the wedding would be annulled. That was it. That was our thing. It was like a quick thing. And man, when she went out on TV that next night and they were chanting slut.
Oh my God!
Like the crowd turned on her so heavily, and we were like, I remember sitting next to Vince at gorilla position. I didn't even know Steph, and she walked out and they started reacting. We both looked at each other like, "Oh my God, this is awesome!" We got to run with this.
So is a pop is a pop, right? Like no matter whether it's a heel pop or good, it's like, has there ever been any reaction where it hurt your feelings? Like they said, "Damn, man, I didn't want to be an asshole. I was trying to be nice."
Now I'm an asshole.
I don't know. To me, in our business, it's just a reaction's a reaction, and I made majority of my name and money in the business getting booed out of arenas.
Sure.
But now it's this weird thing where you can't be a heel no more. It's impossible.
Yeah. Towards the end, when I was still a heel, I was working with Cena. And I was supposed to be the bad guy, and he was supposed to be the good guy, and I was getting, at least half the arena cheering for me.
Yeah.
And that was before they were really fully booing him, so,
Full on
What's the most ridiculous storyline? Like when you were coming up?
That one wasn't good enough?
Huh? That wasn't good enough. I'm just saying, I just figured that was at like the most professional level. I'm just saying, you just break into wrestling. I mean, there's got to be like stand-up comedy, like open mic wrestling kind of.
Most ridiculous angle ever is one that I was involved in, unfortunately, and it still gets talked about to this day. It's called the Katie Vick incident. And it was this ludicrous story. Vince got in his head that he wanted characters to be more sympathetic. And, we have Kane, right, who's like this monster.
Yeah.
He decided that in Kane's backstory, Kane would have killed a girl by accident.
Of course, well, it can happen.
So Vince creates this ridiculous story, and this will get much better, trust me, where Kane has to go on TV in full monster regalia and tell the world that I was young, I didn't know how to drive a stick very well, the roads were slippery, and the car got out of my control, and she died. It wasn't my fault. Unfortunately, I'm in a storyline with him. I was champion at the time, and we were wrestling over the title, and I'm in a storyline with him. So now Vince gets obsessed with us bringing up this dead girl to Kane to the point where Hold on, you're about to go. You're about to really love it, to the point where he comes up with an idea where I am supposed to dress up like Kane and go to a funeral home and have sex with a corpse in a casket. So the whole way there now.
He pitch this shit?
The whole way, I'm like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. But so the whole way there, I'm trying to like convince him, Vince, we really got to make this funny. Like, this has to be very funny. Like, I'm really making a joke out of this. No, it needs to be dark, and it needs to.
No.
So like,
we already got that with the necrophilia.
Yeah.
Might want to try to lighten it up now.
So I'm not even married at the time to Steph or anything like that. We literally go to a funeral home where we rent out one of the rooms. We have a casket with a dummy in it. I'm in Kane's mask and stuff.
Holy shit.
And he, you know, have the guy that is eventually going to be my father-in-law yelling at me to have sex louder with the dummy in the coffin. And while we're doing this, I'm in a skin-colored thong on top of a dummy in a coffin in a funeral home, and the guy from the funeral home, the mortician guy, opens up the door, sticks his head in, and he's like, "Could you guys keep it down? I got a funeral."
Oh shit!
That's a ridiculous storyline, my friend.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Wow.
But Vince don't. From
Damn,
the 2
man.
or 3 days I was there, I had enough to see. It was amazing. It's really like he doesn't pitch. Like, I don't know the hierarchy of the guys that like really get a lot of stick time and they get the stars. They could say, Vince, I ain't doing that shit. I don't know, but I know I saw one guy, Tiger Ali Singh. He had a turban and he was begging Vince. He said his whole family felt he was desecrating his.
He didn't want to wear the turban.
He didn't want to wear the turban, and he's like, "Please, you know."
You get out there with that turban
But
on.
no, he didn't.
Get out of that.
No, it wasn't like Tiger was in his face. Tiger would ask somebody who would ask, and I was just because the writers have complete access to everything. So I'm just looking, and he just goes, "Nope." He's going to wear the turban. And this guy is like, my family hates my guts, my religion, and I just go.
That would be like, now put the bone through your nose.
I told you on the show though that he's there's only been 3 people in my life that I ever met that my dudes and anybody that my heart was beating. And I looked at him like, holy shit.
Powerful.
And
So
he was
it was
one.
me, Vince. Who's the other guy?
It was Jordan. It's too bad. Jordan, Bird, and then Vince.
You met Bird.
Well, I used to work at Boston Garden.
Fucking A.
But he never talked, and all
George
3 of them never talked. You just
Right,
felt,
right.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just felt that shit like that.
Vince does have an ominous presence.
But he listened. He was
like
this thing that
whoa.
amazing. He was the best listener I've ever seen in my life. He never, as in his writing things, he never made. You would suggest something that probably was ridiculous when you think about it, but he would never say that was stupid. He would always sit there.
Hey,
Vince
he
is a big-
greenlit the coffin thing.
Yeah.
Of
I was gonna
course he's
say,
not
yeah.
Vince
that's
is a big
stupid.
believer in there's no dumb ideas, like, or he'll take a stupid idea and turn it into a good idea.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, he's really big on that. And let me just say that I know that kid, and if he was saying he didn't want to go out in the turban because he was desecrating his family and all that stuff, he was so full of crap on every level. That I guarantee you, Vince was like, he's full of crap. He's trying to get something else out of
But
it.
I didn't tell the story. I didn't tell the story based on Vince was a fucked up guy. It was based on just the boss thing. You know what I'm saying?
Truly the boss.
It's just.
I always say it like this. To me, he's the general. Where everybody else that works for him, where the army and the lieutenants and all that stuff, he's the general. And eventually he goes charge up that hill and die, and you go, all right. And you do it.
Who were we talking to recently? We're trying to figure out what Vince does for fun. Because he works all the fucking time. What does he do when he's just not doing the wrestling thing that something he likes doing?
He works out.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, he literally, he's 65 years old. He will work, like, he'll get to the office mid-morning sometime. He will work sometimes until 9 or 10 at night. And then he'll go downstairs and he'll train. And he'll train for a couple hours, and then he'll either finish his emails or he'll go home. He sleeps a few hours. He's one of those people that just doesn't sleep a lot. He'll, for weeks on end, he'll just get 3-4 hours of sleep or whatever, and then he'll crash for a day, and then he's back on track. His work ethic is unbelievable. Like, just as an example, this week we came home from, we were in San Diego on Tuesday, and we came home. Now, sleeping on the plane is not an option. So, like, we flew home after the show. We got home at like 7 in the morning. He's back at the office at 10 o'clock.
Now, back at the office, but Sam, weren't you saying something about Vince? Was he out or? Yeah, Sam.
What happened?
What is
Sam?
going on?
Sam got
Well,
weird.
I just want to know.
Where you going?
No, he was he's back now because he was on TV, but for a while after the Nexus took him out, I'm sure he was hospitalized or something. You know,
right.
Even Triple H is embarrassed.
Yeah, he was in a coma.
Right. That's when he must have been when he was crashing.
Yeah.
He was wrestling. Okay.
I know it's been here since a while since I've been here and stuff like that. But last time I was here, he was making out with homeless dudes and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Has something happened to him since then? 'Cause he seems to have gotten dumbed down a little bit.
That was, yeah, he really has.
What do you mean?
I don't know. You really have dumbed down a bit.
We haven't even mentioned the chaperone yet.
I see him every now and then. He's like a lurker every now and then.
Every now
like
and then. He's
an
stalking you
appearance.
and everyone else.
Yeah.
He's at every appearance. Triple H, the chaperone.
Yeah.
What's the movie about?
It's right up your alley. It's a family movie.
Family movie.
Yeah. You guys ever watch that show, Modern Family?
Sure.
Ariel Winter plays the daughter in that show. She plays my daughter in this movie, and I play a guy that went to prison, gets out, and he's kind of lost contact with his wife and his kids and wants to get them back, but things don't work out so well. The daughter wants nothing to do with him, and he almost goes back to crime, and at the last second he changes his mind, ends up as a chaperone on his daughter's field trip, and the money from the bank robbery that he was about to be a part of ends up on the bus. And the bad guys are chasing them into New Orleans because they think it was a setup. So he's on.
So it's nice guy.
Yeah.
You're a nice guy.
It's a nice, wholesome movie. No, it's a good. It's one of those movies. I think if you've got a young teenage kid or a tween, you could take them to. They'll enjoy it, and you won't feel like I just absolutely wasted an hour and a half of my life.
You didn't have to put on a tutu or wings.
I did not have to put on a tutu
or wings.
But I guarantee there's a scene where someone gets punched and his feet go all the way up, and you see his feet in the camera, and he's straight up in the air. I guarantee he punches someone straight up in the air.
I don't believe that there's not a whole lot of fighting in this movie, but
really,
there is one scene where I do actually punch a guy, and he does go up in the air. But in all fairness, when we shot it, I shattered his nose.
Oh shit!
Oh, you fucked up? That's some Von Claude, Don Claude Van Damme shit. You made a bad mistake.
A little too close on the tight shot, and I caught him right in the end of the nose, and
that was almost a slight case of murder there. That whole bone up in the nose thing there, my friend. You got big fists.
Good thing we got it on that take.
Now, are you done?
No. I'll be back shortly. Just took some time off. I made 2 movies for the company, and then I tore my bicep. And ironically, I leave wrestling to make a movie, and I tear my bicep. But
yeah, right.
Well, it was an injury I'd had for a couple of years, just kept nagging, and then it finally just gave when I was making the movie. But I tore that, had some surgery and stuff, so I've been out for a little while. But I'm headed back.
We to this day talk about your injury where your leg muscle rolled up like a shit.
Oh god, yeah.
You ever heard this one?
I saw it.
We bring this up all the fucking time because we can't believe you
And
can't
he
come
just
back.
and he limped out. He just limped out.
He
of the
pulled the
ring.
muscle to the point that the thing rolled all the way up. Right?
I tore it. I completely tore my quad off the bone at the knee, and it rolled up my thigh.
Can you imagine? How do you come back from that?
Live TV, and I finished the match.
Yeah, man.
That's unbelievable.
And them motherfuckers, that's why I always say the wrestling. I've been a wrestling fan my entire life. And I'm telling you, the greatest actors / stuntmen ever. Like, the shit they do, and they always got to go to, right after a match, they run to a doctor back there to have somebody push something back in, fix something.
But you know what?
And also remember lines. Like, they're not fucking Shakespearean, but they remember fucking lines, and they remember it's a great
And the
thing,
choreography of
Yeah, if an actor tore their quad, that movie is shut down for like
done.
6 weeks.
Tom Cruise tears a quad.
You can't fake doing a monkey salt on top of a dude laying on a ladder. Like, there's nothing.
Right.
And you're 290 pounds and you're flying.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what makes
gravity's gravity.
What makes it even harder, and this is what people don't get about what we do, is then they watch you do that and they go, "Oh my God, how do these guys make it through that?" you got to do it tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah, do it. Now do it again.
You're going to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the fucking thing. People don't. This is there's a lot of differences between when I watched it. I tell you what they don't have anymore that I think they should have is jobbers. They don't. It's like, why every week do I watch you fight John Cena? Then there's a pay-per-view of him fighting John Cena. But before it would be Rudy Diamond.
Of the guys that come out in the tights and the wrestling.
I agree with
singlet.
we have this discussion all the time, and it really comes down to just ratings. It really comes down
like
to
watching you beat the shit out of some nobody, just dragging him around, mushing his face.
Yeah. Well, Jose Estrada.
And then
Johnny Rods. Remember those guys?
Punch
him in the face, right? Get on top, 1, 2, and then pull him up, and the guy's limp, and he just to abuse him some more.
This is despicable.
He does the
This is absolutely despicable.
He does the finishing move 7 times on the guy. It's just why?
They all look like that.
Sam Roberts really taking a beating in that ring. Wow.
You know what the best one?
Maybe not as creepy.
Remember
but
SD Jones?
SD Special
Was the best guy who lost every week.
Greatest jobber that ever lived. But Kurt Hennig used to be a jobber. I remember when stars with jobbers and the WWF would go to WCW and become not jobbers. They become really good and then come back. And now they're fucking actually wrestlers.
Yeah.
But it was so many. I remember the fucking jobbers that it was great, but they don't do it no more. So it's like, I gotta watch the Miz fight a real dude.
Everybody wants.
And then everybody gets to talk. There was only a few talkers. Now everybody's yapping.
I like when the
wrestling.
This is really bothering him.
Yes, because I'm a wrestling fan. It's like you earn talking.
The jobbers would come in, not say a word, but they would move around like they had a shot. They'd be like, like
very cocky.
Stretching.
They were the only one there that didn't know they were about to take ass whooping.
But they, for the first couple of minutes, they would win. They would be winning, like, oh my God, how is this job?
And then it would
putting one
turn.
over? And then it would turn. I love that.
Never saw that coming.
Never saw that coming. Where's Shane? Like, what happened with Shane? He kind of
he
took
just
off
decided
on his own.
Yeah, he decided he wanted to go out and try to make his own way and do his own thing.
But we thought he had something. When he came in here, we're like, okay, you're leaving wrestling. What are you doing? And we thought he was going to announce some big, job.
Politics.
Something.
No, he's trying to do his own thing. He's got a couple of gigs going on. He's got like a company that represents athletes through Europe, and like he's got a bunch of golfers and stuff.
Oh, so he's doing all right.
And then he's also he's creating a company that is going to in China. There's no pay-per-view distribution. And he's trying to become the platform in China to distribute pay-per-view. Which, that's one of those things, if it hits,
that'll be a few
it's
bucks.
huge. If it doesn't hit, the difficult thing about it is it's a communist country, right? So you have to be careful
it's
how you do
Chinese.
stuff.
You got to go over there and deal with them.
Right. Yeah, eventually they can say, this is great. This is ours now. Thank you very much for coming.
Take a hike.
Yeah.
And then he's going to Then he's going to be knocking
and muscle him right out of the country.
And he's going to be knocking on Vince's door. He's going to have to live with
So let's be honest, sir.
Oh, wow, we got
how awful is this idea? How much are y'all begging him to just come back and stop this nonsense?
No, I hope he's successful. I mean, he's trying hard, and I understand the trying to make your own way and make your own name.
His dad has to
like
leave
that.
WWE to him. It's destiny, man.
Patrice, we have William H. Macy outside, and he only has a few minutes. So how are we going to do this? Triple, you want to stick around? What do you want to do?
Sure, I'll hang.
All right. You know William H. Macy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking to Patrice.